What you watching?
A little bit of music here coming at you. A fun new documentary series, I'll call it. It's really like more of like a limited special on Disney Plus. It's all around the Beatles. It's called Get Back. 3 parts, 21 days broken up over 3 parts, about 2 hours and 45 minutes each. And I got to tell you, this is something special.
Really?
This is something special. This is not only cool if you're into the Beatles and you want to hear Beatles music and you want to learn more about the band, you're going to get all that. I mean, and some. Filmed intentionally to be a documentary of the Beatles at the time. Not totally sure exactly what they were going to do with it, but it takes place during, you want to call it like mid-Beatles, like they had already been out and like taken the world by storm for 10 years. They're at the top of their game. And at this point, they haven't performed publicly in like 3 or 4 years.
Okay. So this is early 70s?
Yes.
Okay.
Early 70s, late 60s.
Like 50 years ago.
Yep.
Holy crap.
And they have it all. Days 1 through 8 are the first part. Days 9 through 17 are the second part. And then you get the last few days. And the whole thing is they're in this studio making a new album, writing the music, and maybe preparing for a show.
Working it out.
It is one of the most authentic things. Like, you got to always wonder, right? Like, how much do they cut? How much are they showing you? But I'm telling you, it is pretty linear. Band talking to each other, mic'd up all the time. The footage looks great. Sounds great. And even though it's, 50 years old, and you're going to learn more about the Beatles than you've ever known before. You're going to hear Paul McCartney talking at length with George and Ringo and all of them. And it's pretty fun. It's almost as if you're hanging out with the Beatles. And you're just taking your time. You're taking it slow. It's not cut up documentary of some guy going, yeah, when I worked with the Beatles, it was... No, this is the Beatles most of the time.
I was going to say, how much of this is there a lot of cut-ins for the present with any kind of recent? Or is this just all none?
None.
Wow.
Like, I don't want to give any spoilers because you can see how it ends for yourself. But I'm telling you, like, this is about this period in time. But you learn a lot about the Beatles just from this period, because during this time they're at this weird phase of their fame, and they're trying to like figure out who they are. They've been doing this for a while, and you're getting the intricacies of what are we really doing, and
right.
like what is it that we do, and like how do we feel, and you get the good stuff, you get some drama in there, like, and then you get some just uplifting. You want to hear the Beatles write some of their best songs that have ever happened. That's what this is. Now, after seeing this, I understand.
It's some of the greatest songs ever.
Some of the greatest music ever made.
I would say up until about 10 years ago, everybody would always ask, are you a Beatles or a Rolling Stones kind of person? I would have always said Rolling Stones. And I don't know if it's just something with getting older. It's the Beatles.
Don't be afraid to slow it down.
Yeah.
And chill out. Because this is a long time. Make the time, because when else are you taking 2.5 hours out of your night to like do nothing else? Yeah. And again, it's like, it's kind of on in the background, but like you are listening.
Right.
And like when they start talking, you're like, you're like clinging to it.
Yeah.
It's like really interesting. But it felt good to slow down and hang out with the Beatles. So why not do it with Get Back on Disney Plus?
For sure.